Thanks, Alan, for joining me for another leg by leg, another local event, and also the same map as the previous leg by leg I did. But this is quite different. This is a Rogaine. What else was different about this one?
It was also at night.
So
They're part of the Night Nav series run here in Christchurch.
Cool. So we'll zoom out a bit to give some scope of the whole area. So you've got some controls all the way over there, as far as they're the most far out ones over there. The most far out ones on the east.
Yep.
And you put these guys down here, and then all these ones through the middle. So what was your approach to planning this? What was the time allowance?
1 hour.
Okay. And let's get a sense of the scale. So we've got the scale bar there. That's 200 meters. So this whole area, that's like a kilometer, maybe that far. So we've got just over a kilometer spanning the whole area, and maybe 600 meters north to south ish. Just to give you some sense of the area. What was your approach to planning this out?
Well, obviously there's this big hill on the southern side. It goes around the top of the quarry.
So you can see all the contours through here and around, and then it's quite flat. There's a big flat middle bit, isn't there?
Yeah, there's a big flat area there in the bottom. So I wanted to minimise the amount of climb that I was doing. So one of the key things is once I got up the top of that hill on the southern side of the quarry there, is to try and maintain that height as much as possible.
Right, so at some stage you've got to take on these contour lines, but you don't want to have to take them on multiple times.
Yeah.
That is, you don't want to go up the hill and then down the hill and then back up again and down again. So once you're up, you're trying to stay as high as possible.
Yeah, that's right.
And does that extend all the way around to these controls?
Yeah.
They're all at a similar height, aren't they?
We've got 100, and we've got 100 over here.
Oh, yeah, so what are the points on these guys? 30? 100? Is that the full range?
90,
Some
yeah.
90s?
90 here's got the other highest one.
50s and 50s in there?
Yeah, and 70 and 80 over here
Oh, yeah.
out on the end on the flat. So I guess the key thing I thought is let's link up that 100 and then stay high all the way along here across the top of the quarry through to 90.
Cool. So that's one nice snake, including 33, or maybe that was excluded for distance. There might have been some triage.
Yeah, I decided to exclude 33.
Yep.
Talking afterwards to a few people, they said, "Oh well, the height difference isn't very much between 33 and 100, and it's actually not too bad." But anyway, I excluded it.
Yeah, it is out on a limb as well. Like if you get to a control, you've also got to go to the next control.
Yeah.
Which is
So for me, it was only
considering.
30 points. It's right out on the edge, and so I excluded it during my planning time.
Okay. And you've obviously got a sense of how far you can go.
Yeah, that's right. I kind of felt like I could get around quite a lot of this in an hour, but I knew that I wouldn't do all the controls, so I would have to take out some of them, so it'll be taking out the low point ones, really.
Cool. So after deciding you'd join up those,
Yeah.
what else would you join up?
So then I figured I'd like to do the ones in the White Forest first. There's quite a bit.
Okay, so that's this area here.
Yeah, that block there.
So what's appealing about those?
Well, there's some hill in there. There's also some tricky controls in there. You know, they're because they're in the forest.
Yep.
There's a bit more navigational challenge, so it's good to knock those off early on, because generally, if mistakes late in a score event in a Rogaine can cost you quite badly. So if I am going to make any mistakes, let's make them early on when I've got some time to play with.
You can readjust your plan if you have a hiccup earlier, whereas if you've got 10 minutes to go and you screw up, you're I assume there's points taken off you for being
Yeah, it's 20
being
points
late.
per minute
Yeah.
late, so it's quite severe. You don't want to be late.
Yeah, let's have the safety at the end. Yep. So you're keen to get those ones early on.
Yeah,
They're also somewhat close together compared to some of these ones over here.
yeah,
And they're all pretty close together, so you can maybe you're getting a good number of points per minute.
yeah. There's some quite high
going through,
points.
and
in
there's also
there.
90 and 80.
and
Yeah.
a 70 in there as well.
Yeah.
So that was kind of, so then really, I sort of split my race into thirds, that I'd spend 20 minutes over here in the White Forest getting my first block, hoping to get up to number 100 at about 20 minutes in,
Okay.
and then I can run across the top of the quarry
Gonna get those
and
ones.
pick all
probably
those up.
get that one through like that. Okay, so we're beginning to get some sense of how you might approach this row game.
Yeah, and then I've
What
got
else? There's
and
some
then
more
I've got
controls.
20 minutes, kind of, hopefully on this sort of flat area at the end, which I didn't
Yep.
really plan that much.
Mm.
I wanted to get out to that corner and do 70 and 80, and then see what else I could pick up
Yeah.
as I came into finish, depending on what my
so
time
you've
was
got
like.
like these ones here and up the hill if you got time,
Yeah.
stuff like that. Okay, so what about the finer details now? What was if you're planning to get out into this area, obviously you want to get some controls on the way.
Yep. So well, essentially I headed straight for 62 as the first control.
Okay.
So it's down low.
Okay, we'll
Can we zoom into that bit?
yeah, we'll get into that bit. Yeah, so it is down low, so should be fast. I imagine there are a number of other people doing a similar.
This was one of the
Similar
weird
approach.
things. It's one of those row games where you get to the first control and you're the only person there, and you think,
Oh, what have I done?
what did I do? But yeah, so that
Were you
was
tempted
that
for
was
42?
fine. No, because it's across. It's actually across this
And up the hill.
stream and up this little hill, and then there's all this green bush in the way. So that was kind of it's near the start finish. So that's got a one to pick off at the end is what I thought.
Okay. Cool. So you've gone around the bottom, fairly easy approach up the fence.
Yeah, the fence line to there. Yeah.
Cool.
So basically I did this loop 62 to 40 to 52.
So
'cause
again, pretty flat,
all
flat,
the
line
ones-
flat to 40, and
Yeah.
actually flat to, I don't know which way around the pond.
We're on the back of the pond on the unmarked track, which I know is there because I watched the other leg by leg.
This thing.
Yeah.
Okay, through. And then obviously 81.
Yeah, so then up into the corner here.
Oh, yeah, so you wanted to avoid the green, that's your style?
Yeah,
Yeah. Nice. Boom.
yeah.
Yep.
And then from there up into the corner
Okay,
to
and
90,
Probably pretty safe
maintaining that
actually.
height.
Yeah, just following the track. You've got the fence.
Yeah.
Nice.
And then into the open, across the...
Yeah, so
Across the
faster
fence.
moving
Yeah.
on the open.
Yeah.
What about this though? What's faster? What was the green stripe and the pale yellow? What was that showing?
It was fairly open actually, so it was just some sort of undergrowth and stuff. So I didn't really.
The bushes down the fence line.
Yeah, basically, jump across the stream, and then climb up till you got past that green.
Do you see that thing? Maybe not.
No,
Yeah.
you were
So
kind of
this
focusing.
corner was good.
Yeah, that
Okay.
was quite clear. And so, in fact, I climbed a bit higher to jump in onto this track,
Oh, yep.
the loop of this
Oh,
track.
okay. Nice confidence, especially
Yeah.
at night time, to use a handrail like that.
Yeah,
And then you've picked off, I assume, the
the one in the re-entry.
re-entrant and nice safe approach. Cool. And then
And then just climb up through the white to find that top track. Nice run along the track.
cool. That's a nice way to get some high pointers
Yeah,
pretty early on. Get some points in the bag.
and then continue into this re-entrant there and follow that track all the way up to into 100 in that re-entrant there.
Yep. And this re-entrant here, yeah, it's quite distinct at night time it's really nice to find these lines in the terrain to follow.
Yeah.
Because you can't see quite so far, and we didn't go up to 33. Okay, so now this is your line along the top.
Yeah.
So let's have a look at what. So there's really only one way to do.
Yeah, so you come out all the way
71.
up to the road, run along the side of the road,
And down through the walkway.
Yeah.
On the path corner.
So then
there's some decision to do here. Is it tempting to get 34 and 43 before? There's quite a lot of height to lose to go down to those two.
So actually I decided to skip those two.
Yeah, see, that would have been, if you had lots of time, there's some way to get some points, but 30 and 40, they're not the big baggers, and you're going to be quite slow between 43 and 63 because of the number of contours that you have to cross on the way up. So although they might seem close together, points per minute is going to be fairly low to do those. So I think I'm with you. I would have probably missed those two out also.
So yeah, so I ran across the top of the hill.
Yeah, so very little climb in the first half of the leg, and then you're going downhill the second half. Fairly good points per minute between a 70 and a 60 with nice running like that.
Yeah.
Here we go, 40 points.
Then we come down to the bench, in on the track.
Maybe like that.
Follow that track, and then into that one at the back of the clearing.
Cool. Yeah, again, nice and safe on the tracks. You can go full speed.
And then back on the track until we get past the green, and then we can jump the fence.
Did you see the big water tank or building there?
Yeah, in fact, I was looking for the water tank, but it was all this green there, which I hadn't really noticed on the map. So,
so visually, you couldn't actually see the thing that's most obvious on paper.
Yeah.
Sneaky.
Yeah.
Yep. But as mapped.
Yes, that's right. So in my original plan, I was planning to go to 32 next, but I was doing fairly well for time, so I decided to go to 53.
What was the clock saying at 91?
I think that was about 35 minutes in.
Cool.
So I still have 25 minutes to go.
Yep, so 25 minutes, and let's remind ourselves, 25 minutes, you've done, about half, or slightly over half, I think. Yeah, and I've done... And you've got, that's by area, and you've done the ones at the forest, and you've done the hillier ones, so you've got this flat stuff left. So, you're maybe more like 2/3 through. Yeah, so I thought it was good to add an extra one in. Yeah, I think that's smart. So from there I went to the fence corner. We can see that. Contour across to the fence corner. Maintaining height. Very nice, nice and safe. Jump on the track until we hit the fence. and then it's like, maybe I should have looked at this a bit better. So I came down to the west side of that cliff. It was pretty horrible, actually. I'm very slow. So a wider berth from these steep areas is sometimes beneficial. Something like that, just to be further away from the cliff, because cliffs are obviously not perfectly binary in the terrain. They start getting steep before the cliff, and after the cliff is rough. Yeah, the rough open was really rough and very slow moving. Long grass, and I don't know what other undergrowth is there, but I mean the map is telling you that it's slow. Yeah. So actually I burnt a bit of time doing that. Okay. So then I changed my plan, so I decided not to do 32 anymore. Oh, so that's very adaptive and quite realistic. I think that's the challenge of row gaining, is knowing when it's the right time to readjust, either to be more bold or less bold on the schedule. Yeah. So I didn't really want to come back through this rough open. Very slow area with the pale yellow and the green stripe.
Yeah, so even though it's quite a bit further, I decided to run the track, so jump straight onto that track down there, diagonal across there, along the road for a bit, and then into,
Came around.
yeah, pretty much into there. Went around the track into that one.
Cool. On the flat and fast now.
Yeah. So I then start going around the edges of the map.
Hopefully we can zoom out a little bit for some of these longer ones. So you're going out to the
So
edge.
up to 70.
Follow the track
first.
out. 80?
Yeah. Yeah, interestingly here I need to use my compass a little bit because it's very open and there's not so many landmarks.
Especially at night time. Like what's the visibility on your headlight if you're there, how far can you see with your headlight? Maybe a bubble like that?
Yeah. So you can see kind of these, seeing where all the edges of these bush and stuff can be quite tricky. So I kind of run to this corner here, but then it's like I need to find that track.
Yep.
So that was definitely make sure you've got your compass and to get to it,
Cool.
hit that track, and then go through there.
And likewise here, if you're not lining up the compass, you're at the mercy of the winds and you're going to drift maybe over there, but we can do it straighter.
Yeah.
And were you successful in your execution?
Yes, it was. Yeah, and then you see
Nice.
the picnic table and this controls
Right,
kind of
and you can
behind
probably
it.
only see the picnic table from, depending on how good your headlight is, but you've got to hold a straight line until you can see it, maybe in here somewhere.
Yes. So from here, so now I'm looking at the clock.
Yeah, a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. So really, what I'm trying to do is pick them off, in order, getting closer and closer to the start, so I've got maximum opportunity. So then I go down to 51 next, and then across to 31. And then up to 44.
And you've got this nice zigzag going, and if you're really tight for time here, you can go straight back.
Yeah.
So this is a decision point, big decision point here.
Yeah.
But you reckon you're going good?
Yeah, I'm going good, and so I managed to get 44.
How much time on the clock now?
It's probably down to around about just over 10 minutes.
Okay.
Cool.
Cool.
Probably 15 actually. This
Okay,
point. 15
so
minutes,
we've got
I'd
a
say.
chance to get a few more.
Yeah.
Yep.
So 44, you can jump on that bottom track, and then climb up to 61. Time was still looking good, so I went out to 42. Thought 37 was closer to the finish. Let's go and do 42 first.
And then track.
And then track and through down the track to the bridge. So then I still had 4 or 5 minutes. But so then the question was, do I go up this hill here?
Yeah, so
to 50. So I
you've
now
got
have
a
a
number
choice
of
between-
contours here to get up. There's a track.
So the track,
Yeah, so
some steps.
it's quite unreal. If there was no track, then you're running the risk that you ran earlier of getting more stuck than you had hoped. But there is a track, so that's good. Do you do it?
No.
No, chickened out.
So I got to the junction.
Oh, yeah,
So I
yeah.
ran up the road.
Yeah, why not push it a bit further? You can turn
got
around
to this
at any
junction
time.
here, and I kind of went. I was like, it was less than 4 minutes, and I was like, it's quite a big climb. I don't think I can get there and back in the time.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, possibly it would have been. I could possibly have done it in sort of 5 or 6 minutes and actually gain. Because it's 50 points and it's 20 points off per minute. So I didn't really think about that at the time.
That's the method at the last minute. It isn't actually a complete failure to be slightly late. And if you get an additional 50 points for being 2 minutes late, then you're plus 10.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's probably doable. And yeah, this is the the tricky end of row gaining is being able to do those decisions rationally under pressure, which can be surprisingly problematic. I recall making very dumb decisions sometimes when I'm pushing too fast. Cool. So you missed out these guys in the middle and that one at the end.
This one here in the middle as well.
Oh yeah, so that's pretty awkward, isn't it? It's actually quite hard to get into. You really have to go
It's
from
just-
in and out.
In and out, yeah.
So that's pretty low yield. 30 points for an in and out. There. I mean, if you could go, just like that would be good. And then the 30 pointer out here.
Yeah, and the 30 pointer that I
Oh
planned
yeah,
out
yeah.
over here as well.
And 32. Cool. I think that's quite a good effort, and I think what I like the most about that is how much you know what's realistic for you, and you've calibrated your pacing and your judgment based on what you feel is accurate. And it looks like you've got it pretty close. You had an okay sense of how much is doable in the allowable time. You haven't found yourself at the finish far too early, and you haven't found yourself on the far edge of the map with only 5 minutes to go. So
Yeah, I mean, it's
that's
nice.
that's what it should look like. And the zigzag at the end, I really like that. You can compress the spring or extend it out if you
That's right.
need
yeah.
to.
I mean, it's a nice map for that. The start finish is in the middle, so you've got easy opportunity to be near the finish with lots of options and that back off in that final part of the course.
Yeah. Oh well, good job, Alan, and thanks for sharing your course with us.
Thanks, Gene.